in this YouTube, we're going to give you the top 5 tips to do the best introduction ever. You know, building rapport is so critical, the needs analysis. When you've got a really good introduction, you're in a fantastic position to make a presentation that's visual, compelling and powerful. So what are the top 5 tips? The top 5 tips for doing the best introduction. Let's get into it right now. First step, after you've got a qualified appointment, obviously, you know, you want to make sure you're in front of decision makers. I've got a YouTube about that. It talks about the conversion rate of appointment to decision maker. So if you've got 10 appointments, it's important to make sure that you're in front of 7 out of 10 decision makers rather than 2 out of 10. You just can't have a good conversion rate with 2 out of 10. So point number 1 is mental preparation. When you've got a great appointment, mental preparation. Get to the appointment 5 minutes early and focus on being mindful and present. Take a very deep breath and relax. You might have a whole lot of junk in your head, picked up the kids, dropped them off, you might be single, you might have a girlfriend, you might have a boyfriend. Whatever it is, you've got a whole lot of junk in your head and you bring that into the appointment without clearing your mind, it affects the conversion. So get yourself nice and present, nice and relaxed and nice and peaceful. You know, when you focus on your breathing every day, your life expectancy increases. Clinical psychologists have proven that. Being mindful is a great opportunity. Personal development is fantastic about sales. Learn to be mindful. Learn about meditation. You want to be in the top 4%? Point number 1, prepare the mind before you get into the introduction or before you get into the meet and greet. Point number 2 is the meet and greet. It's making the customer feel comfortable. Okay? Feel relaxed and feel at ease. You can do this with the tone that you use and the voice, speed, and also your body language. Make sure you open gestures and make sure you do say to the person, how's your week been? If it's after the weekend, you can say, how's your weekend been? If you walk through the garden, you can say, great garden, who's the gardener? If it's business to business, you can say, been on your web page, gee, you've got a good website there. Open-ended questions, and when they start to talk, what do? You listen, attending, following skills and reflective responses. We reflect back what people are saying. Then there's rapport reflecting. Rapport reflecting is the ability to get the customer to talk and to reflect back what they're saying. Okay, so what did you get up to on the long weekend? Well, we went down south, ended up going to the wineries, repeating the last word of their sentence. Wineries? Yeah, it was great. The kids stayed at their parents' place and we were up to relax and off they go. Know this. This is your opportunity to demonstrate high-level listening skills. People like to buy off people they know, like and trust. Make sure you have good listening skills at this point. You want to look like a listener. Have open body posture, the body motion forward, the head tilted to one side so the ear is facing the prospect. Have good following skills. Keep out of their way. Use silence. Silence frees the customer to speak after they've spoken. Okay, if they've finished speaking, leave a silent gap. The customer will think about what they want to say next. Yep, really, wow, gosh. After they've finished talking, say, yeah, well, it sounds as though you've had your business or you've been living here for a long time and this and da-da-da, and you're talking about this and you stated this, and the customer's going. And you often get these big smiles when you use reflective listening. Keep in mind that this isn't about sales, this is about personal growth. It's about your life. It's about listening to your partner, your parents and your children, building warmer and richer relationships. So, build rapport and reflect back what people are saying. Really important. The next step is point number 3, and that is the needs analysis. Have a list of really cool questions. If you're in a sales group, ask other sales reps or ask the sales manager if you can develop a list of questions on the whiteboard. So what are the best questions to ask to open up the customer so they can talk about the product or service? What questions have you got in place? If it's real estate, you have a list of questions. If it's whatever it is, have a list of questions. And when the customer starts talking, we write down the answers to the questions. And we can say, look, do you mind if I take a note of these? And it indicates that you're actually really interested in what they're saying and what they're communicating. Why do we write down what the customer needs? Simple. Reflect it back. When you reflect back the needs to the customer, you'll often get a comment, look David, the only reason why we're dealing with you is because you're the only person that really understands our needs and you've really listened to us. Because at the end of the conversation I've used what's called a summative reflection and I've summarised back the needs to the customer. Well, it sounds like you're looking for a product that's going to do this. Also, you want this. Also, you were saying this, and the customer's going, yes, that's right, yes, yes, yes. And often they'll go off on a tangent. Oh, another thing is, and off they go. And when they do, just be silent and sit there and breathe. And relax. Because you know that when they're finished, you're just going to reflect back what they've said. I've been in situations, in appointments, where people have spoken and spoken and spoken and spoken. You know, most of my appointments now are with large companies, with managing directors of large companies. And when they sit there and talk and the national sales manager talks and the director talks, you know, I just sit there and listen. And after they're finished talking, I say, well, Bill, you said this, and also Michael, you said this, and da-da-da-da-da. And what your concern is such and such and such and such. And I'm just repeating back what they've said. And the managing director says to me, David, I can tell that you're a very smart person, very switched on individual. You know, the type of person that we can really learn from in our organisation. And I hadn't even said anything. All I did was just say what they said. Of course, my urge is to give unsolicited advice, have a better story and talk about myself. But my training tells me otherwise. And that is reflect back what people are saying. 1, to check on accuracy, and 2, as a courtesy to them, to give them an indication that you've listened. So number 5 is staying in control. We're still in the introduction here. Staying in control. You need to stay in control. If you've got presentation material and the customer takes that away from you, or if the customer asks you a curly question and you answer it, the customer will ask another curly question and another curly question and another curly question, and then you've lost total control of the sale. So when customers ask you questions, say, look, it's a really good question, and I'll be addressing that a bit later on in my presentation. Now, does it work? Of course it works. It's in the tone that you use. How does it work? How do I know it works? I've used it thousands of times. You know, they might have an objection as well. Oh, well, if you haven't got a good price, we're not going to do anything. So price is important to you, is that right? Yeah, it's really important. And they start talking. What do? I just reflect back what they've said. And then I say, look, it's a concern of yours, and I'll be talking about the total investment later on. You know, we'll come up with something cost effective, and if it's not cost effective, you won't do it, and that's okay. I can handle that. I can accept a no as graciously as a yes. So there are 5 points to the introduction. Know the 5 points. It's mental preparation, it's meet and greet, it's rapport reflecting, using those reflective responses. I'm going to have a YouTube on reflective responses, a big one, because it's such a really important topic. The needs analysis is about reflecting the needs back to the customer. 1, to check on accuracy. 2, as a courtesy to them. 3, you get more yeses because they're always saying yes, 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 because you're saying also what you said is you want a product that's going to do this, correct? They go yes. Also this, yes, and you'll jolt their memory. So stay in control. That's a very good question, and I'll be addressing that later. Stay in control. If you lose control in the introduction, you will lose control of the presentation, you will lose control of the sale, you will lose control of the closing sequence. Guys, if you like this, make a comment, subscribe. My name is David Ferrier. I'm one of Australia's top sales speakers, and these are sales tips. And these are some of the best sales tips you've got. 17 years experience, I'm throwing all my experience at you. So next time we're going to be talking about the presentation, how to do a really top presentation, what are the best things. So please subscribe, okay? This YouTube, other people can use it if you subscribe. Thanks very much. Cheers.